Welcome to Drysen Learns Things. I'm Drysen. Great to meet you. And today is another solo episode. In fact, this entire week will be solo episodes. I do have a couple interviews lined up for later this week, which I'll post next week. But if you would like to be on the show and you would like to brag about your company, the work you've done, something you're proud of, or just share general business tips and tricks, I want to talk to you. So please reach out to me at Drysen, Drysen, at madebythings.com. I kind of want to talk a little bit about the customer experience and why it's so important to level those things up in your onboarding plan and your customer experience and just the journey of working with someone. And to tell this story, I'm going to go back to 2009. Maybe it's 8. No, it's 2008, September of 2008, when I started my very first company, a DJ company, an entertainment company. I was doing backyard parties. I was doing proms, and it sucked. I did not like those kind of events. But eventually, I was able to land my very first wedding, and I fell in love with it. The dopamine, the structure, the people were cool. It was just a very good time. And the money wasn't bad either. And so I decided that I wanted to double down and focus specifically on wedding entertainment. As time went on, I went to college, met a beautiful bombshell of a woman. Her name is Erin, and she later became my wife, which is pretty cool. But she was aspiring at the time to become a photographer, and I kind of poked and prodded and said, "Hey, you should try weddings. You should try weddings." And so she did. And eventually, we were both running our companies side by side, and we occasionally overlap and help each other out. We kind of try to push each other's services to people. But eventually, we're like, "Hey, we've got a pretty serious relationship going on here. We're doing things really well together. It's fun. What if we joined our services, made it DJ and photography, one company name, and just rolled with it?" And that positioning of being a DJ and a photographer working together behind the scenes to make a couple's day even more magical, holy smokes, it was a powerful combination. And it took off. It worked. But here's the thing. When we were doing things solo, we were getting 5-star reviews on almost every single event. And here's a marketing hack or trick I want to challenge you to look at in your own company to see if you truly have a strong customer experience. Go look at your reviews. And if it says 5 stars, they did great. You're failing. Unless people are truly writing paragraphs, books, bragging about how amazing it was of an experience working with you, they're just kind of saying nice things like, "Yeah, they did what they said they'd do. Like, it was fine. It was okay." And the reason this is important is because when you can take an experience and make somebody fall in love with your brand so much that they're willing to write a book, a paragraph about how amazing your services are, that person is officially a super fan of your brand, and they're going to go tell everyone about what it is that you do. And I will die on this hill. I will fight anyone that says otherwise. Word of mouth marketing is hands down the most powerful and effective form of marketing we have. Everything else you have is important. Email campaigns are important. Out-of-home advertising, important. Content, social media, all of it. It's very, very important. But none of it is nearly as impactful and powerful as word of mouth. And here's why I can say that. I can prove that honestly. Erin and I, we both realized that we had to have a good base service. I had to be a good DJ. She had to be a good photographer. If not, it didn't matter how convenient our packages were. It didn't matter how cheap our packages were. People wouldn't hire us if we sucked. That's the bottom line. So we both had to be masters of our craft individually. And then when we came together, it was a powerhouse punch. We got so good at making people feel special on their wedding day, they would go and they'd tell their friends, and we would have new sales coming in, pre-sold, that we didn't even talk about price. Now, granted, we were one of the most expensive vendors in the area at the time, but we didn't even talk about price. It was just, do our personalities connect? Do we jive? Are we available? And if we weren't available, it happened multiple times where a couple would actually change their wedding day to work with us. That's insane. Can you imagine any other industry where that actually works, where you're able to say, or any other service where you're like, yo, we want to buy from you so much, we're going to change everything else about our big special plan just to give money to you? That's crazy. And yet people are in love with us so much because of it. So how did we actually do this? Well, we doubled down and focused on building a strong customer experience. From the moment someone would reach out, the very first thing, every single time, they would go into our CRM, my phone would automatically ping, and I'd have a little personal video I would send to their inbox, iterating them by name, saying, hey, Caitlin, super excited for your wedding coming up. Let's get together and talk. Just by calling them out by name, reiterating their wedding date, their problem they're facing, et cetera, that face-to-face connection built trust to say, hey, I will take time out of my busy day to talk to you specifically. That's important. When the meeting came, we didn't worry about selling our services and the lights and the speakers and the equipment, any of that stuff. It was 100% about how do we maximize their emotions, what they're looking for, a special day. On the day of, we went above and beyond by connecting with all the vendors ahead of time to make sure we knew when this was going to happen, when that was going to happen. We would find all the little hiccups that would happen in an event that would typically be awkward, and we'd eliminate those moments of confusion. Whatever we had to do to make sure they were gone. We would just on the moment, like give a little cusp, make sure the attention stayed not on me as a DJ, but on the couple. So even when we introduced them to the grand entrance, I would just take the microphone up and they'd give a quick thank you for coming to shift the focus not onto me, but on their grand entrance. We would do little things. Like as you see, if you're watching on YouTube, my hand right now, I've got my little DJ light that I still use in the background. My hand is pink. And a lot of entertainment companies, they will just put a wash color light on the dance floor and it changes colors throughout the first dance. Sometimes you have gobos and different effects that have dots on people's faces, which elevates the experience. But it ruins those first dance photos. So we just simply make sure the scene was whitewashed. So it still had the club feel and club environment. And we put movement on the ceiling and things on the ceiling to give it a little bit more pomp and circumstance. That set the photographer up for success to make sure it's not just the DJ. We're working together. I would go up and I would actually clear the dirty dishes after everyone was done eating at the head table, not because I cared to be that hospitable. It didn't hurt the fact that they saw their DJ going above and beyond cleaning the dishes. But what I was actually doing was making sure that the speeches wouldn't be cluttered with dirty dishes. It was little things like that to really help elevate the customer's experience beyond the role of just, I'm going to play music for you. We created an army of advocates, an army of super fans that we didn't have to sell. We just had to exist and focus on our people. Now, I'm a firm believer that there's a content portion of that where you got to make sure you have onboarding campaigns. So after somebody signs a contract, they don't know what to expect, and that's scary. They don't know what the next step is, and there's a lot of trust that can be gained or lost because you think about it. When you get engaged, you book your DJ maybe a couple months afterwards, and then there's a year to sometimes 2 years of a waiting period while you're waiting for things to happen behind the scene. In that long period, there's a lot of trust that can be either built or lost by just simply interacting and sharing ideas and checking in. So we would make sure we had touch points throughout the time frame saying, hey, this is a really, really cool, trendy thing over here, and just building those relationships. So I'm realizing I'm running out of time. This is a soapbox I could talk on for 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes to an hour. So I just want to wrap up and just say, build your customer experience. Marketing is important for the first side, to inspire curiosity, to build trust, to have social proof, for people to know that you are going to accomplish what they need. But the experience doesn't end when they give you money. That's when the real magic starts to happen. So, again, I am Drysen. This is Drysen Learns Things. Today I'm Drysen Teaching Things, I guess, brought to you by the Made by Things Discovery Workshop. And I will be back tomorrow with a new story, and we'll see you then. Goodbye. Drysen Learns Things is brought to you by the Discovery Workshop from Made by Things. If you are looking for a content partner to help you brainstorm, set goals, and create content that truly resonates with your audience, check us out at madebythings.com/discovery.